Let's see this video from Necrit.
Riot made me pay attention to an esports event. But yes, before the finals of MSI kicked off, Riot decided to do a fun thing. They prepared a proper match of veterans for League Classic, which revealed a lot on its own. And for a lot of people...
Okay, yeah, like, I agree with people on Twitter, like, complaining about this. Why are there new skins in this game? This skin wasn't here in Season 3. Like, look how out of place the Amumu looks. Chat, what looks more out of place? Amumu in this new skin in the old map, or me playing Jeffrey Epstein akshan on the as a custom skin, or like Sandra on the log, or like Shangling, or like Snake akshan? What looks more out of place? This or a custom skin? Like, unironically, the custom skins fit more than this shit. Like, this looks so weird.
It revealed things which we didn't think would even be part of Classic. I mean, those don't look very classic to me.
Yeah, legit,
Skins
what the
didn't have a recoil animation back then. But before even that happened, Riot revealed...
Yeah, but I was thinking about it, right? Like, even if they have old models, but like, just like the client is the problem. Because how do you make a rotating game mode, and then you just, like, you pick Mordekaiser, right? And you wanna play old Mordekaiser. But what if someone wants to play old Mordekaiser, and he goes and picks the Sun Uzal skin? What happens? The client just explodes, creates a black hole, and sucks everyone inside of it. So, like, that's a problem.
A new feature heading to Classic, which changes the perspective of the entire project. So...
vote with community to shape the future of the League Classic experience. I speak on behalf of everyone when I say we want Yasuo in this mode, bro.
Strap in. So Riot just made things official not only through their official trailer, but also through the official League Classic website. That's right, as if it was just a normal League of Legends game, it now, once again, has its own website, and it is here to tease all of its features and tell us...
Okay, but what is the point of League Classic if old characters aren't there, like old Galio, old Morde, old Zion, old Evelyn, right? I mean, there are some fucking characters that are gonna be the same in Classic like they are right now.
Us what's really going on. Relive the early days of a 5v5 MOBA that defined the genre. Choose your champion, find your team, and fight to take down the enemy nexus. All with original champions, items, and metas. I mean, Gangplank skew making your lane unplayable is hardly called...
Oh, this splash is so vile. The chest hair, it just looks like an alien on him. It doesn't even look like chest hair, bro.
But more importantly, here we already got the release date, with League Classic coming out on July 29th, which is in slightly more than 2 weeks. But since this is trying to mimic the original League from about Season 3, you can see that the entire website and all of the UI is using those orange awful buttons that scream 2012. But then we got into more teasers. First, it confirmed that we are getting the original Summoner's Rift. This is the one before it got any of the minor updates. And I am extremely happy to see this one in the game.
I didn't play back then. I mean, I played on old SR, but I didn't play Season 1.
Mock-up of the loading screen. And here it confirms that the classics are back, such as APE, Deathfire Grasp, or the Stunlock Scion.
Old Mundo!
After which, they reveal a massive new feature. A new history in the making. Get a fresh start without having to catch up on the latest patch notes. Vote with the community to shape the future of the classic experience. Why is nobody talking about this one? So...
community voting is so cool. Let's vote for Kleptomancy to be back. No, but they are not gonna do Season 9 ever. There's gonna be League Classic, the sequel, in like 2 years, bro, and then that's when we'll get, not like 10 years, and then we'll get Klepto.
What is really revealed is that it seems like Classic League will hang out for as long as possible. This doesn't seem to be just a quick game mode, no. It seems like Riot actually might wanna make this permanent.
I don't think it will be mega popular. I think Aiden Mayhem will be like 10 times more popular than this.
And when it comes to its future content, it seems like Riot wants to implement a voting system that will let the players choose what they want to see in the game. Now, this is big, and it is not something that we would see the first time in a classic experience. Now, there is another classic game called Old School RuneScape which is using the exact same kind of a voting system that lets the players vote on what they wanna see in the game. Now, at first, when this game was re-released, people voted on the classic things that already existed in the classic game before, but eventually all of this voting led into entirely new content being made for old school RuneScape. And so, what if this is what Riot also wants to do? It worked for OSRS, so why couldn't it work here? But in
Oh wait, it's old Skarner but with the animations of the new one. That's so fucking uncanny, lol.
interestingly enough, this could mean that while at first
It's old animations.
Classic
Bro, old Skarner didn't have three tails. This is for sure. This is the model of the new one.
will likely be getting old champions just spread around a little bit, eventually it might also get its own new content. What if at a certain point there is a cutoff? And so what if eventually, perhaps years later, if the project lives for that long, people might want to see new champions?
It won't. It legit won't. I'm not a hater, but I legit refuse to believe that it will live that long. I think people will play like 5, 6, 7 games, whatever, and then they're gonna be like, wait, this is not better than the current league, and just leave it.
With classic kits in mind. Or perhaps, what if we might get new champions with old styled kits? I mean, what if they took Ivern, but they redesigned Ivern to work like an old school champion? Honestly, there might be some potential there. And if not...
Okay, Necrit, like, you're really just... He's really just LARPing at this point. League Classic will not be popular enough for Riot to dedicate their fucking resources to make all the new characters, bro. That's so delusional. This, like, guys, on my entire chat's life, League Classic will not be a permanent thing. People will play it and get bored and never play it again. It's just like one nostalgia dose.
That then perhaps Riot could actually revive some of the old cancelled champions, which were originally planned for the classic experience anyway.
Yeah, 1 month that shit is dead. Or 2 months at best. People are gonna play, get some nostalgia, then they are gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go play my fucking normal League of Legends. That is way simpler and way more fun. Like, yeah, there are some things that were good in the old league, but come on, bro. We are just living off nostalgia. We are literally just living off nostalgia. Bro, if this becomes even 20% as popular as how's it called? As Iron Mayhem, I will legit just face reveal on spot.
However, I can guarantee you that none of this is something that people would want to see in the game at launch. I'm pretty sure this game will need a long run without getting touched.
I will touch it. I'll touch you, chat.
No new content, only classic stuff. But then, perhaps a year later, Riot could try and do something there. In fact, we got a quick interview with Pabro, who
Yeah, but top quest is so dog shit. I should legit just queue mid lane if I wanna climb. But if I queue mid top, I will get top lane every game, and then any other role I don't wanna play.
That spoiled the plan. He confirmed that League Classic will start around Season 3, with the vast majority of the content being handpicked. So it is not gonna be a perfect replica of a patch from Season 3, and it is more gonna be some kind of an all-star of all the classic features. And slowly, over the following patches, there will be more champions from slightly before and after Season 3 getting into the game. For example, while on PBE we already got the small roster of champions revealed, you might have noticed that someone like Mordekaiser was missing there. But now we learned that Mordekaiser was featured on the Chinese website for League Classic. So either the launch roster is already bigger than what we saw, or these champions are planned for releases during the other patches. Now, while we are in this interview, Pabro also...
Fucking all the Irelia back with her cancer E. all the Irelia E was genuinely one of the most frustrating abilities in the game. I mean, it was like, if she had a less HP than you, she had a point and click 2-second stun on you, bro. That's very wholesome.
Revealed that this project was incubated in Thunderdome, which is Riot's hackathon where they do a quick game.
Yeah, she had like flat on-hit true damage as well on her W. Her ult was a joke. It was just like 4 projectiles that killed you. It was such a garbage ult.
And they always come up with something that makes it into production. Like, funnily enough, if you really liked the Brawl game mode, that one also came out of Thunderdome. And let's not even talk about Swarm. That one might have not even been Thunderdome. I think that was just one person being a good guy. Anyway, then the website included a good old 200 years of experience joke. That is a very OG joke that only some of you might remember. After which we get surrounded with nostalgic glory. So yes, the old monsters all made it back with their old models. And you can see that because everything has the old style, all the NPCs have the chunky black outlines around them. Now these were there for visibility. Because as you can see, the entire map is very saturized and vibrant. And so, all the champions and monsters needed this black outline to really pop out. In fact, this is why the modern Summoner's Rift is so desaturized. It is done so that the champions can pop out without needing this outline. Anyway, then they also teased some of the UI, also we still haven't
Thanks for the Zeri game Drututt, the balls guy.
Thank you.
seen the in-game UI, but we are getting
No roll queue,
the
GG.
Season 3 Champion Select. Once again, this one comes in with all the awful old school buttons. And you can see that this screenshot specifically is also a mock-up. Because yes, that is the ancient Lux. But this one is so old that it's not even gonna be nostalgic for the OG players.
What the fuck is that?
And so it's possible that the old Lux might not be making it into the game. Now, the only reason why I'm saying this is because here we can also see the original icon for Karthus, but during the MSI game you can see that he already got the other one. So it is possible that from this screenshot specifically there were already some changes made. However, it is also possible that because MSI is in Korea and so they played the game there, because Asia censored a lot of the art, that Karthus specifically might be the censor.
She looks like a cheap hooker, not an old Lux. Well, that's how Riot designed her, bro.
One. And so who knows, maybe Cheerleader Lux actually makes it in. But then it takes us into the old runes and masteries. Yes, previously PBE teased that these are coming, and so here it confirms that the original runes are coming, and we are getting the second iteration of masteries. That's the version that made it slightly more interesting and not just stats. And so at the end here, Riot teased that if you are coming back to League, it might be a good idea to update your account, meaning that they know they are about to attract a lot of boomers with this game mode. But that is not it for the information we got. So first, a fun detail, but if you have a look at the background on this website, you can actually find what might be the official art for League Classic. And it may look familiar to you, but also oddly different. And well, that's because this is the OG art from Season 2 and Season 3, and this is the new version. And so now Riot is using Zillion instead of Lux to promote the League Classic, which makes sense because he's the time mage that is taking us back in time. And it's also fitting because his model has not changed since the old days. But it's also funny that as Riot is using Zillion to promote League Classic, previously Blizzard used Chromie to promote Classic WoW. Anyway, this is what then gets us into the MSI game, where we learned about another massive thing. You see, at first we were met with a cool retro-styled production from the 2012, and actually big props to Riot for pulling it off. And it was amazing to see Free go through the game because
Testament, thank you for the prime. I'm back.
now it is obvious that's what he was likely working on. And yes, you can see how saturated the entire game is, which is why everyone has the black outlines. Everything was a lot darker and gritty. I mean, look at all the blood effects. However, there is also something you might have not expected. I mean, none of us have. Because while the Summoner's Rift, as well as all the NPCs and the default champions are old, the skins are not. Now, I have no idea if all of this actually makes it into Classic League or if it is just an MSI thing. But as you can see, it seems like all the champions have all their skins available. I mean, again, are these recall animations? Those have not made it into the game for the next 3 years at least. So Riot, quick feedback, if these new skins make it into Classic, just disable the recall animations. those don't feel classic. But the truth is, I think I understand why the modern skins are here. Because if this becomes a permanent thing, you will have to find a way to financially support this, meaning you have to make
It was like it would be a
people buy
permanent thing.
skins.
There's no way League Classic will succeed, in my opinion.
At the same time,
Like people, as like again, I'm repeating myself. People will play it for like a month is generous, like 1 to 2 weeks, and then everyone's gonna be like, okay, back to normal League or Era
if
Mayhem.
someone previously bought a skin, you don't want to make them buy the skin the second time for Classic. So, to keep the game running, you want to use the expanded skins that work in both versions so that people keep paying for the game. But at the same time, you can't just choose which skins you wanna use, because if someone bought an expensive skin that is not in Classic, but it is in Modern and not the other way around,
LoL Classic would succeed. No, even like Super Classic
people are
LoL
gonna
wouldn't
get
succeed. Not
confused
gonna
and
lie.
people will have a lot of hate towards you. So it might just be easier to enable all the skins and use the black outlines to kind of fake the classic look. But what is extra confusing about this is the old champions are using the old models. For example, Evelynn is completely different. So is Riot trying to reuse modern skins of Evelynn on the classic model? Because obviously not all of them existed in the classic form. Or is it possible that the modern skins for the modern champions that have the modern models become like a chroma skin for the classic version? I wonder. This is something that PBE will probably reveal, and for now, I have to admit I am still very much confused. And so, even though League Classic has not launched yet, it is obvious that there are already gonna be some changes. The WoW Classic audience
Your artist should recreate that gif from the doc of like the 3 kangaroos pissing on a wolf. That's a good idea. I should do that. I agree. I will
should
do
lose
that.
their mind over this.
Next time there is a Kaisa video, I will do that exact thumbnail.
And I know about this, I was there. And it seems like most of what is gonna be happening in the Classic will come down to how people feel about it. Because again, there is gonna be the entire voting system, where people will be able to vote on what they actually wanna see. And just like how it is a game that currently exists, it is just gonna be a matter of time before something modern comes into the game and people are gonna be complaining. And just like it happens with every classic experience, it does not matter that the game is not out yet. People are already complaining. That's very classic.
Amazing.